Hello everyone, welcome fellow traders from around the world. This is me right here looking at you, and welcome to some of my best winning trade ideas that you'll find anywhere on the internet. And I truly mean that, and I'm going to prove that again to you with today's video. Last week we had over 700 pips, and this week it was at least 690 pips. I mean, there was the opportunity to make that many pips, and I know I do get a lot of feedback. A lot of people do tell me that they are doing quite well with some of my trade ideas. So that's great news. Now, I want to start off by first of all saying that tomorrow is Remembrance Day here in Canada. So I'm broadcasting from Toronto, Canada. Actually, I'm just outside Toronto, but for us Canadians, we do celebrate November 11th, which is called Remembrance Day here in Canada. We mark the official end of World War I, which happened on November 11th, and we celebrate and honor all the brave men and women and some younger people as well who did engage in World War I. It was a very tragic event where many people died. A lot of soldiers, a lot of our men and women did not come back to Canada, and we celebrated around the world. It's celebrated in different ways, and there's sometimes a different name for it. I believe in the United States it's called Armistice Day, and Australia it may be the same, but it was mostly the Commonwealth countries that participated in World War I. We're the ones celebrating and honoring the brave men and women who engaged, like I said, in World War I. We still have some veterans left here in Canada, and again, it's a special honor tomorrow, November 11th. So we're going to look at winning trade ideas. For those people who wait right to the end of the video, watch the video right to the end, I've got a really special free gift for you today. There's no obligation. Just send me an email. My name is Martin again, and there's the email address. So I will give you more details and information right near the end of the video. Okay, so let's get started, and we're going to move on to the disclaimer. Okay, this is the all-important risk disclaimer. You can read this and always pause this video. The main thing is I produce the videos on a weekly basis for educational content. I'm not trying to give you any investment advice. That's entirely up to you. Always remember, trading is very risky unless you have the proper education. And I've mentioned this a million times in my weekly videos. Never, ever trade with more than 1 to 2%, or try not to lose and risk more than 1 to 2% of your overall account balance. Okay, so let's move on to our charts. Okay, you can see I've got the Euro USD daily chart here, and I've drawn in these the upper and lower trend lines. We are in right now a bearish channel, or a pennant it's called. And you can, by bearish, I mean, you know, price is making lower lows. There's a lower low to the previous low here. Price is also making lower highs. Here's the previous high. So we are in a bearish downtrend. I see price coming down further, and overall, eventually, price may come down all the way to this area right here, 110.75, 1100 area. Okay, so for this week, I'm looking for. Let me just take that off. I don't want the charts to get too messy. Okay, so for this week, I've got some of the charts in blue here, my levels. So I'm looking for sells below 113.30 and buys above 113.84. Now, the reason they're in blues because I kept from last week. Remember, I want to prove to you that I've got some of the best winning trade ideas of anyone that presents this kind of information on the internet. So if you guys want to learn Forex, I mean, You don't have to know everything about Forex, but you just have to know how to follow my weekly videos. They're free for now, as long as you keep responding back to me, giving me good feedback, sharing my video with other people. Okay, they will be free for the meantime. So last week I did say take a buy above 114.24, or I was looking for a buy, and you can see after Tuesday. So this is what happened last week. Last week here, to the right side of this red vertical line, this first white candle, that's Sunday, Monday trading. This next white candle is the Tuesday's trading. These are daily candles. Okay, guys? And so right after the Tuesday's trading, if you would have had a buy stop just above 114.24, on the next day you can see price went all the way up, came back down, and closed where it started. So basically, this was a non-event day. Nobody won. It's called a doji, okay? And I actually, as a conservative trader, I would have gotten out. So if you would have been in here and you had, and you did not have a profit target up in this area right here, then price would have come back and basically you would have ended where you started from, right over here. So you would have not lost anything. Okay, for the aggressive trader who kind of waits for price to continue going higher from this point on, if you did not have a stop loss, you would have lost with this black bearish candle. However, I did have another sell level below 113.68. See, I'm leaving that on here on this chart, and with that, you would have made 30 pips. So even though this is important, guys, it's a lesson here. I give you always two levels: a buy level above the top level here, and I give you a bottom level. Okay, so one is buy above here, sell above here, and I do this for every chart. So if this didn't work out for you, then get ready for the next. If price reverses, get ready for, in this case, a sell below 113.68, and you would have made 30 pips. Okay, so that is a little bit of a case study. Let's go to the next chart, the British Pound USD. This was good for 30 pips last week, guys. I did mention sell below 113.68. Okay, and sell below 130.68. So that was right about there, and you guys would have made some pretty good pips, I believe. Oh, just a second here. No, I mentioned a buy above 130.13. Okay, so it was a buy above 130.13. Okay, which is right about there, and from here you would have made holding on to your price, you would have made this one big candle that was good for 66 pips, guys, and then holding on to a next day that would have been good for 27 pips, for a total of 93 pips. Now, I normally just take a trade. If I'm in the winning column, I normally take my trade off the table the next day, or keep half of my position open to take advantage of any further moves. In this case, it moved two candles. You can see this candle and this candle getting in about there. Okay, so that's the British Pound USD. For this week, you can see I'm looking for buys above 130.84. However, my bias is to the downside. Look for sells below 129.66. So the opening, I normally do not trade the Sunday, Monday candle. Okay, that's the first opening candle for the new week. It opens up on Sunday and closes Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. Okay, because remember, I'm from Toronto here, producing this video. This is the Eastern Standard Time, same as New York Eastern Standard Time. We're in the same time zone as New York City. So just wait for the first day to finish and then decide what you're going to do. Okay, so that's the British Pound USD. Now let's take that off the charts and move to the Australian USD. Okay, take a look here. I had this already on the charts. This is a resistance area. Price did go up here, bounce back down, and last week, you would have made 32 pips holding it one day, because I did mention, and by the way, check last week's video. If you're a subscriber, you should be getting all my videos. You can always go to last week. And last week I did mention a buy above 0.7211, 0.7211, which is right about there, and you would have made some pretty good pips. Okay, so for this week, guys, I'm looking here. A sell, price would have to come all the way down to here for me to be confident the price is going to go lower. I'm looking for sells below 0.7178. However, if price reverses, okay, I'm looking for buys above 0.7255. Okay, so let's take that off and let's continue. Gold here, you can see gold had a huge momentum bearish candle on Friday. Okay, so this is Friday's trading. Remember, these are the daily, it's a daily chart. That means each candle you see, each price bar is 1 day's worth of price movement. Okay, so this is Friday's move. It was a big down day, and here you want to exercise a little bit of caution, okay, because at this area price could still bounce higher or come down lower. Now, I'm thinking price is going to go lower since we did break the previous support swing low here. You can see that. So on Friday's move, we went lower, and I expect price to come down. I've drawn in this trend line for you, which acts as dynamic support, guys. Okay, so we have one touch here, 2, 3 touches here. So you draw your line, and you would wait to see if price comes back down, bounces higher, or price breaks through and goes down lower. So this is kind of your decision area right here. But right now, I expect price to keep coming down lower. You can see the filters are pink and pink right here. Short-term momentums to the downside. Our longer-term trending indicator is pink. We're still technically in an uptrend, but the uptrend is weakening. Okay, so that's what that means. If you want more information on these colors, what they mean and how they correspond to these colors, green above blue, then let me know with an email, and I'll send you some information on the charts. Okay, so let's take that off and move on to New Zealand USD. Now, this was good for 84 pips last week. Guys, last week's video, I mentioned buy above 0.6694. Okay, where is 0.6694? Okay, 0.6694 is about right there. So I had a buy above this area right here. You can see, guys, price went up. Okay, and this would have been good for approximately 84 pips in total. Okay, and again, if you're getting in here, waiting 1 day, taking your trade off the table, would have given you the pips. You can see on the Thursday's trading, we have a black bearish candle, so you still would have been in profit, although you would have lost some profit. And that's why I say, if the next day you're in good profit, take the trade off the table. There's nothing wrong with putting the money back in your account, okay, from your trade. And if you want to keep going, if you want to keep the trade going to see if it goes higher, then what you do is close half of your position and keep the other half open. Okay, but at least close half to put the profits in your pocket. Okay, so for this week, looking at buys above 0.6756. I have a tight level here. It's an aggressive. A stands for aggressive move. Counter trend to the downside below 0.6717. Okay, guys? So, that's that. Let's remove that and let's get going to US CAD. Okay, I've drawn in this upper trend line, this lower trend line. And what does that mean, guys? I wish this was a live video, so that I could hear your comments and feedback, and maybe, engage in some lessons with you. But let's take a look. Let's do some drawing. Price went up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, you can see we're making higher highs, we're making higher lows, we're in an uptrend, and this is, again, it's an uptrend channel, okay? At some point, it's going to reverse back down again, okay? So right now for this week, I'm looking for buys still above, and it's aggressive buy, because remember, it may only come up to about here. So buys above 132.25, and to the downside, sells below 131.67. Now, US CAD last week was really good. Well, US CAD, you have to go back to last week's video, but there was a loss on my first position on the buy position I had broadcast in last week's video. You would have lost 37 pips, but then again, remember I said I have another level as well, and you would have made 57 pips, so you still would have come out ahead with a small net winner of 20 pips for the US CAD last week. Okay, now oil, let's take a look at oil. We normally talk about oil after US CAD, and take a look at this, guys. Okay, here is an interesting scenario. Let me draw that in. You can see oil has taken a pretty huge tumble down, okay? And what you want to do when regardless of what chart you're reading or what currency or what commodity or whatever, if you see price just keep coming down, 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 especially look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, black bearish bars. It just keeps tumbling. So you want to know how far can price tumble to. Okay, so what you want to do then is switch your chart. In this case, this is the daily chart, right? It's a daily. Each candle is daily. 1 day's worth of price movement. So switch your chart to the next time frame. In this case, the next higher time frame on the MT4 platform. This is the MT4 trading software that all brokers have, okay, regardless of what broker you have. So what you want to do is just switch to the weekly chart, okay, which is the next higher time frame, and you can see right here on the weekly, I've drawn in, see this rectangle right here? This is support. This is major support right here. So price most likely will come back down here to test this area and then probably bounce higher. And from here, again, you'd have to wait and see. It could come back down again or just break through and come back higher. So we don't know if that's the bottom down here, but right now my bias is still to the downside for oil. This is the weekly chart. So if you want to know how far price can either come down or go up, always switch to the next higher time frame. Take a look and draw in your support and resistance. In this case, I've drawn in this rectangle, which is support. Okay, support is like the floor. Okay, and price comes down to a floor and may bounce higher or break through. Okay, so let's go back to the daily. Okay, and let me take that off. Now we're going to move to US Swiss franc. I had this already drawn in. You can see on last week's video, I had this resistance area. So opposite of support, right, guys? I'm trying to teach you a little bit here. Here is support right there at this level. Opposite is resistance. So price comes down to support, bounces higher. Price comes up to resistance and bounces down lower. And in a trend, it often bounces down, comes back up, and breaks through to go higher to make a new higher high. So in this case, let's take that off. It's getting kind of messy. Okay, and for this week, I see a level of buys about 10063 because price. This is a major resistance here for this for the US Swiss franc. It is a big round number, okay? So price may still go higher and break through, but to the downside, look for sells below 0.9993, okay? So that is the US Swiss franc, US Japanese yen. Last week, I did mention a buy above. I'm just taking a look at my notes. Buy above 113.41. which is right about there. Okay, just go across 113.41. I had a buy. I suggested a buy above 113.41. It did go up. You can see, guys, come on, it can't be easier than that. All you have to do is follow my videos, but not just follow 1 week and then, you know, stop watching. If you keep, I promise you, if you keep watching my weekly videos every single week, you're going to learn something new. New concepts, or the old concepts are going to be reinforced in your brain and in your mind, and you're going to understand what I'm talking about. All you have to do is follow my weekly videos and you're going to make some money. Okay? I know that for sure. I'm making money, so if I can do that, you can do it. So it did go up. You can see on these two white candles right there, and that was good. Last week, guys, that was good for 63 pips. For this week, look for buys about 114.12 or sells below 113.46. Okay, price may certainly come back down a bit and then come higher. And again, take a look at the previous swing high here. This is resistance. Draw your line across, or your rectangle, and price may come back higher to test the previous swing high here. Okay, let's take that off. I want to keep some clean charts. We're moving right along to the Euro British Pound. Now, the cross pairs have given us some of the biggest winners. No kidding, guys. We've had some really good winners. My levels have been excellent. And for the Euro British Pound last week, this was good for about 50 pips you would have made. I did mention I was looking for sells below 0.8755. 0.8755. So I was looking for sells below here. Guess what? It went right down on the Tuesday's candle. You would have made some really good pips right there. Holding on to the next day, you would have made some more pips. Okay, so the aggressive trader holds on to their trade a little bit longer, looking to make more pips. However, whether you're conservative or an aggressive trader, always try to close at least half your position if you've made some really good pips. And that happened on this day, which is the Tuesday, with this long bearish candle. So Tuesday there, and then the other half would have made some more pips here. Okay, so that's what professional traders do, and that's what you should be doing. For this week, looking for buys above 0.8756. However, price could certainly come back lower. We've made a new swing low here. Here's the previous swing low, so you can see price is heading down. Everything, all the signals down below, these are just confirmation signals, guys. Okay, you don't trade off of this, but they just help you perhaps analyze and see the situation a little bit better. But where the short-term momentum is to the downside, and longer-term trending is to the downside with the pink histo bars here. So for this week, certainly once price bounces from here, price may come back down, and look for sells below 0.8687, or short-term to the upside, counter trend above 0.8756. Okay, let's move on to the next chart, which is Euro Japanese Yen. This was a loss last week, guys. Not every trade wins, but I have so few losers, honestly. Like, this was a loss for 56 pips with my with levels I had posted, but wait till you see the next two currency pairs after that. They were monster moves. So for this week, guys, I'm looking for buys above 130.14, sells below, look for sell below 128.78. Right now, it's a wait and see situation. Okay, we have pink below blue, which means we should be looking for only sell trades. Okay, and I probably would look for a sell trade right here, and if it goes down lower, I've drawn in this trend line again. This is how you draw. So we have one swing low here, a second swing low, or we call that a touch, one touch, two touches. Join the touches, and extend the line out, and if price comes lower, it could certainly come to this area right here for a third touch, okay? And then you would see what happens. So buy above here, sell below here. Let's take that off. This next one, Euro Audi, was a huge monster move. Now, again, look at my previous week's videos. I had this big, huge rectangle drawn in long for weeks now. And I said that we were in a ranging pattern. Ranging, you can see that right here. And I said I was waiting for a breakout below here, breakout, okay? And look at this. What is this? This is a huge momentum candle. In fact, this was the breakout candle right here. You see this big black bearish candle? Okay, that I teach in my course. It's a new course, and I would have gotten in right there. The next day it went back just a wee bit, but then guess what? From here you would have made this. You would have made all the pips with this huge candle, and then even staying in, holding on to your trade, or closing half your position, keeping the other half open. You would have made all of that. So last week, honestly, guys, this was good for 30 plus 60 plus 46 pips if you would have kept the trade open, or at least half the position open, for a total of 136 pips. It doesn't get easier than this, guys. Look at that. I did say my last week's video, and you can check the video if you want, I mentioned a sell below 157.88. Let me take that off. Sell below 157.88 right there. I've left this on. I've not even moved. You see, this is in red. These are my levels from last week's video. These are the levels for this week's video in blue. But this is last week. There it is, guys, right there. I said look for sells below 157.88. It doesn't get any easier. So you would have had a sell with this candle. This would have been profit. Sell, keeping the trade open, or at least half your position, as I talk about. You would have made the pips on this candle, and keeping again for a third candle, keeping it open, you would have made the profits here. So that is a huge monster move, guys. Last week alone for 136 pips. It doesn't get easier in that. So for this week, I'm looking for price to continue to come down. I've drawn in this rectangle, which is support. I expect price to come down. It may come back up a little bit, but for short term, right here, short-term aggressive counter trend, look for buys above 157.10, but remember to take your position off the table if you're in profit after one day, because price may certainly go up a bit higher and come back down and bounce down lower. Or conservative traders, you may want to just wait. Let me take that off. It's getting messy. Conservative trader, wait for price to turn around, okay? Turn around, look for sells below 156.38. Okay? Doesn't get any easier. This is a longer video, guys. I apologize. I'm trying to keep them down to 20 minutes. I was doing pretty good the last couple of weeks, but I think this video is well worth it. Okay? Final currency pair, British pound. I kept this on the chart. It doesn't get easier. Look at that. Last week's video. And please share this video with your friends and fellow traders. These are the best winning trades you're going to find on the internet. Okay? There are other good traders out there, other good educators, but I'm probably one of the few that do offer exact levels that you could look at. Again, it's for educational purposes, but they often work out. Okay? And last week I said look for buys above 146.83. There it is. Guess what? Another three candle. 1, 2, 3 candles all the way here. Okay. This was good for the biggest move last week. First getting in here. The first move up was good for 67 pips. The next big, huge candle, this white big candle on the, on this day, which was the Tuesday right there. Okay, and that was good alone for 108 pips alone. This one candle and this final candle right here on the Wednesday, that was good for 47 pips. A total of 222 pips if you would have gotten in right at the beginning, okay? So, look at that. I mean, come on. I'm showing you the proof that my levels do work, okay? For this week, look for buys above here, 148.54, sells below 146 right here, 146.95, okay? Right now, we had a huge move back down on Friday. There's a big bearish move, okay? And take a look. See this red dashed line right there? That's a major moving average, 200 simple moving average. Price may come back a little bit down, may come back down and bounce higher, but watch to see if price stays above this red line. If price closes next week above this line, it may certainly go higher to retest this resistance area again. Okay, so take a look at that. Keep that in watch. Okay, that's this red dashed line. It's a major moving average, and in this case it's acting as support, so watch to see if support holds. Okay, so that is the British pound, Japanese yen, and as I mentioned at the end of this video, let me just take that off. I've got a special free gift. Okay, if you share this video with your friends and email me, send me an email. My name is Martin, mskyj007@gmail.com. I've got an ebook which is over 80 pages. It's Quick Start Forex Traders. So for especially those newbies, if you're just getting into Forex trading, want to know what it's all about and how you can quickly start, without having to learn everything in the short 80 pages or more. I'm going to give you all the necessary information you need. You don't need any more than this, and it'll help you get started. So again, send me an email. My name is Martin, to mskyj007@gmail.com. And remember, out of courtesy, please include your first name. I hate sending out information and free ebooks to someone called Hey You, or I need a name. It's just courtesy. Okay, don't forget to click on the subscribe button and the like buttons on the YouTube video. Watch the videos on YouTube. And remember, please help me out and share this video with all your friends and fellow traders. Take care, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you again next week for the best winning trade ideas. Take care. Bye-bye.